Hello, friends and my viewers. Yesterday, I had talked about the structure of gut, how they're important, what are tight junctions, why the gut brain axis is important, what is the function, and what is the importance of microbiomes in the gut brain axis functioning as well as in the overall metabolic health of our body. Now, today I'm going to talk about leaky gut. Okay, this concept is known, and many of you might have read through this in social media or in newspapers and health magazines. Leaky gut basically defines a structural part of the gut, which I had discussed, that is the tight junctions, which are the areas or junctions between the two cells, that is the epithelial cells which form the lining of the gut or the intestine. Okay, now intestine has a surface area of about 4,000 square feet. It's quite a large surface area, and that surface area, the health of that overall area is very important because various parts are responsible for various steps in the digestion and absorption. Most important is the small intestine, where the pancreatic secretions will be pouring, fats will be digested. Most of the digestion and absorption will be taking place at that part. Whatever undigested will then move to the large intestine, will be then processed by the microbiome there, and then lastly converted into the excreta. Now, what happens in leaky gut is, which I had explained, that the tight junctions are like, areas which are completely adhered to each other. The space between the two epithelial cells which form the lining of the gut, the space is negligible. That is, these areas are not porous. They cannot allow anything to pass except water and electrolytes, which is known as the paracellular transport. But what happens is, when this area becomes damaged due to some inflammation or infection, that results in some kind of gap between these tight junctions, which causes the entry of food particles and toxins produced by some bad bacteria in the intestine, which is known as dysbiosis. So, when these food particles and certain toxins of the bad bacteria or chemicals, they can pass through these areas between the tight junction through the paracellular transport itself, then that can result in the activation of immune response, because the immune cells or the cells which are responsible for activity when they come across some antigen or foreign substance, they are located below, or you can say beneath the mucus layer. Mucus layer is the first layer, that is known as mucosa of the gut lining, okay, which has the epithelial cells and certain glands which produce the mucus. Beneath the mucosa we have the submucosa, and just below the submucosa we have the immune cells of the intestine. Okay, so intestine has the whole system. It has the system for secreting mucus, it has the system for various transport mechanism, it has the system of immune responses, it has a system of secreting certain chemicals which are actually secreted through the enteroendocrine cells, which are also present beneath the submucosa. Now, when these allergens cross the tight junctions, which shouldn't be happening in a healthy gut lining, they evoke an immune response which causes the secretion of various kinds of chemical mediators. Okay, and these chemical mediators, that is cytokines, which are known as cytokines, they will result in inflammatory responses which can then damage the lining of the gut further. So dysbiosis and leaky gut, they are connected to each other, and this is seen in the conditions like which are known as IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease. That is when you have a gluten rich diet, some protein gliadin present in it, glycoprotein, that becomes allergic, the person becomes allergic to that. That can result in inflammatory conditions by evoking the immune response and causing the gut leaky by damaging this tight junction and forming gap between the cells, which can cause the crossing of this gliadin, glycoprotein and food allergens and various toxins produced through the bad bacteria into the intestinal cell. Okay, so this leaky gut has been actually considered to be not only causing diseases of the intestinal layer or of the intestine that we refer to as celiac disease or Crohn's disease or inflammatory bowel syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, but they are also responsible for various other diseases which are away from the gut, which involve the organs which are not directly connected to the gut, but they receive the flux of the gut. Or you can say whatever inflammation taking place in the gut, whatever the leaky problem is happening in the gut, that will also influence the metabolism in the body. What happens is certain, you can say, like if you're having a large amount of fat diet, so that fatty diet, okay, that can result in the production of more amount of lipopolysaccharides because they will release the fatty acids. Now you are having a large flux of fatty acids that will enter through the gut into the liver and will flood the liver. So basically what happens, certain components which shouldn't be reaching in a large concentration in the liver, they start coming in the liver. Okay, now the liver will regulate their levels so that the body has a balance of all the components. Okay, now what happens when they are increased to a level that cannot be compensated by the regulation through the liver, so they will result in problems which can affect the liver functioning, and that can result in various hormonal imbalances which can result as various metabolic dysregulations, and that can cause the disease. Because when the liver has a flux of large amount of nutrients, fats, carbohydrates, proteins and all, now it will try to regulate their levels, but in that case what will happen, the secretion of various hormones will also increase to regulate it. So you can have an increased surge of insulin that can result in more fat accumulation in the adipose tissue and more of conversion of carbohydrates also into fats. That can result in basically de novo lipogenesis also. So that is going to cause obesity. That can also cause insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. That can also lead to various cardiovascular issues because you're having large amount of fat flux in the liver, which can result in abnormal fat metabolism. Okay, so you cannot say that the leaky gut is responsible for problems in the gut itself. It can cause problems which are not related to directly the gut, but the gut is influencing that through their influence in the metabolism of the body. Okay, so in this section I'm not discussing in detail what actually is happening at the you can say micro level, that is the effect on mitochondria, which I'll take in the next lecture. But a broad update is that gut issues, problem in the gut, leaky gut is the major cause for not only problem related to the intestine, but the problems related to the metabolic health, which can be obesity, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, abnormal fat metabolism, cardiovascular issues, cancer. And as we have talked about gut-brain axis, it can influence the brain also, which can lead to Alzheimer's disease, dementia, depression. Autism was also linked to that, cognitive issues, memory issues, and various other issues. Okay, so it's very important that we try to keep the lining of the gut intact and avoid such foods which are high in fructose, added sugars, preservatives, artificial sweeteners, which are processed, packaged, and not natural. Okay, and they have gone through a lot of hammering. Okay, they have been converted to powders, they have been converted to juices. All these things, they are going to cause inflammation in the gut, and when inflammation happens in the gut, that is going to damage the gut lining, that is going to damage the tight junctions between the epithelial cells, which will make them porous and cause leaky gut. That is, the gut will leak the food particles, toxins and all inside the intestinal cell, which is going to flare up the immune response. And the bad food will cause the entry of bad bacteria, which is known as dysbiosis. These will result in the production of certain chemicals and toxins through the bad bacteria, which will again damage the gut lining. So the basis of our health is good food choices, combination of foods, not only one kind of a choice or supplement. Natural food, which is actually present in traditional recipes, natural fruits, vegetables, no processed, packaged, canned food, and all traditional type of cooking recipes which have been followed since years. Okay, and whatever you cook in your kitchen is always healthy. So I recommend eat clean, eat real food, eat home cooked food, and cook in your kitchen. Abstain from eating outside, abstain from bringing comfortable, convenient foods through Swiggy, Blinkit, and trying to save your time by having these convenient items. You are saving your time, but you are harming your body at a cost. You are doing that, which is a very, very heavy cost. So don't harm your body. Save some time to cook. Whether you're cooking a khichdi only, adding vegetables in it, whether dalia with vegetables, cook something simple, but please try to eat home cooked meals. Okay, so take care of your health, take care of your gut, and then take care of your liver. So it is like a tagline: feed your gut, protect your liver and your brain. That's very, very important. This one statement says all. Bye.